everybody, Linda here with this week's Tuesday Inspiration. Tuesday Inspiration happens every week, although we don't all get there every week. This week's inspiration comes from the lovely Jen, and it's a selfie. In Jen's photo, she's outdoors and looking very wintry. This photo I've chosen of me is also outdoors, but it's not quite as chilly as what Jen looks like. This bridge is a swing bridge. I don't know about you, but they give me the heebie-jeebies. And this is as far as Gracie and I got on the bridge, and my husband took the photo of us there, and it was swaying, and it wasn't a lot of fun. There was no way I was going all the way across. My husband wasn't quite as keen. Him and the other dog were slightly less keen to go across or even out as far as we did. So I'm quite proud of the fact that Gracie and I got that far. Anyway, so those are the photos I'm going to use, and I'm using this sketch from the Follower Sketch February with Scrapping Reflections, and this particular sketch has been done by Tribu24. So I'll put that link down below and I will get started on this layout. Given the swing bridge and the turrets, or the, what do you call it, the struts that go up, and you can see them all going up from the bridge, I thought this paper worked quite well from the Nature Walk Designer Series paper pack. Gorgeous papers in this pack. That's one side. The other side is this beautiful colour. There's a whole range of different colours and designs in there. So I thought we would use this one today because of those lines and team it up with a few different colours. Now I've got a crumb cake background, and rather than just do a frame around the outside, I'm going to do it a little bit different today and do a bit of ripping. I think the Mossy Meadow is the best backing for that, and if we put a little bit maybe of this colour in as well, then I think it kind of helps to bring it together. This is a pretty peacock, so I'll grab a little bit more of that, I think. So what I'm going to do first is mount the two photos. So we've got that one as the main one, and then I might cut this one down to have as the little square one on the side. So I haven't stuck anything down yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then for the piece that goes behind, I'm thinking of bringing a little bit more crumb cake in, and that kind of goes there. I'm not sure about the envelope type thing that we've got going on there, and at the moment I'm just trying to see how much space is going to be used up by the main part of the page, because I've used a bigger photo. I think it's 5 by 7. So this is going to be, I can cut a piece off that way to come out of there. In fact, I might already have a piece. Yep. So it can probably go right to the edge, and then it can have another piece coming out the other side. So we'll just make that the same width to come out sort of down there. And then we've got some pennants that are going to come off. Now, do we use this colour, or do we bring in a little bit more of the Mossy Meadow? Let's have a look what that would look like. I think we might do a combination actually, and have the pretty peacock next to the Mossy Meadow and on the outside, and then have the Mossy Meadow on the inside. So let's just see how that works. Go for the middle one. Now I want the torn piece on this bit, like that. And tear around the outside. Right, I'll just go and do that and I'll be back in a tick. So that lets a good amount of the crumb cake through. I hope you're enjoying these Tuesday inspirations. So the four of us in the group are myself with Jen, whose inspiration we're using today. We've got Mel from Mel W Scrapping, and we've got Holly from Ivy Cole Creations. Jen is from Kay's Mum Scrapbooking, and it's a great group of ladies. We're enjoying bringing these videos to you each week and also thinking up the inspiration. So we each take a week in turn, and it's quite fun trying to think up what we're going to do when it's our week. So that's all stuck down now, so we need to do the title. I want to do a little bit of journaling down here, so I thought I might bring in a extra little piece of the crumb cake. So it's just a small diversion from the sketch. One of the main reasons that I do scrapbooking is to include the stories, so I will attach that down the bottom there for some journaling. This was in 2021, this bridge walk that we did, and it was our first day out after a lockdown. We had several lockdowns around here for COVID, and it was nice to get out into the fresh air. So as you can see, I want the word swing to go there, and I thought bridge on the right hand side might just need to be handwritten. So I've used the tall letters to fill up that space and cut out the word swing in the pretty peacock. And then I will write the word bridge next to it, but I'm not happy with that. So in the end, I stamp it with the pen pal letters from Close to My Heart. So you can see here I'm just getting them together on the block so that I can stamp them onto another piece of crumb cake, and then I'll cut it out so that it's the right size to fit over the writing that I did, which just looks a little bit too amateurish to me. But I do like the two different fonts, and this little font just fits perfectly in that space, so that was a little bit of luck, I think. And I still would like to add a couple of things around the background, so I'm going to use this Wild Fern stamp and die set from Stampin' Up, and it's got some quite cool textures that you can see I'm stamping behind the photos at the moment. So some with a primary stamp, and then some I'm just stamping again using a secondary stamp so that they're slightly weaker. And then I'll use this mossy meadow to cut out some of the leaves, or the fern leaves, to scatter around as embellishments because we were in the bush. So what I'll do is spread these three different ferns out and stamp 2 rows of them, making sure there's enough room in between each to be able to attach the die with a piece of washi tape when I come to cutting it out. So once I've cleaned these stamps up, I'll use one other of a different kind of stamp just to fill in that gap on the bottom left, and then I'll go away and attach the dies and then cut them all out on the Cuttlebug. So you can see here that they're all ready to go, and I can just dry fit them around the page where they fit the best. And I think that brings a little bit of the bush atmosphere into the page. And you can see I'm tucking some of them underneath the photos and underneath the mount, and then another one on top. So I don't think I use any dimensionals or anything because the photo itself is bringing it up and giving it that slightly 3D look. So once I've got those all stuck in, I've got just a couple of little bits of bling to put in various places, because what's a page without a piece of bling? So I'll pretty that up, and then we're just about done. I hope you've enjoyed watching this page come together. It was a good day out, and I loved Jen's inspiration that she brought for this week. So I hope you get an opportunity to check out everybody's pages on the Tuesday Inspiration playlist, which is listed below. So there's my page for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Happy crafting!